Present. Up. Order. Up. Report. From my left to my right. Report.
Report. Okay, right now. Perfect.
Sir, camera report. Alternate President Encampment. Sir. All right. Encampment. Encampment. Hey. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Far East Encampment in 2017 graduation. As you can see, you left with us a bunch of very young cadets that had some varying levels of experience. But over the past week, my tactical flight officers, my technical flight officer, have all worked very hard with your cadets, and they have worked very hard to learn and grow tremendously. We've seen amazing improvements in them in this past week. So before I got started, I want to kind of explain the significance for anybody that doesn't know of the location that we're at and why we chose this location. So this location is called Hill 180. It's also the location of something called the Battle of Bayonet Hill. So if anybody has heard of Colonel Lewis Millet, or Captain Millet at the time, there was a famous battle that was on this hill. It was in February of 1951. There was a patrol, Easy Company, marching through the rice paddies out here, the frozen rice paddies, and there was a large contingent of Chinese soldiers that were on the top of this hill. And they had entrenched positions with 50 cal machine guns and rifles and all kinds of things like that. And they saw this patrol, and they opened up fire on them, and they were vastly outnumbered. Captain Millet, quick of thought, decided, you know, we don't have very many options here, so he actually gave the order to fix bayonets. It was the last known fixed bayonet charge in military history. They fixed their bayonets on their rifles, and they charged uphill, outnumbered vastly, and took on the Chinese in hand-to-hand combat. They killed 47 Chinese soldiers, routed the remaining contingent, and seized the hill. And it was part of the founding of Osan Air Base. 20 of the people that they killed were killed with bayonets. So, very, very courageous charge. Colonel Millet, well, Captain Millet at the time, led the charge the entire way, was the first one up the hill. And he actually won the Medal of Honor for his actions. So, we thought that was kind of important because Encampment has something that we talked to the cadets about called the warrior spirit. And it's described as a condition of the heart. It's not necessarily about fighting or fighting a war or whatever. The warrior spirit we've taught them is about courage. It's about strength of character. And obviously, Captain Millet on that day had tremendous amount of courage and strength of character, as well as all of his men, to lead that charge and to be victorious in that battle. So we thought it was very important that our cadets today get to celebrate their graduation in the same location, because it represents what they've been through this week. They've all been forged through the fire of Encampment. And let me tell you, I don't know if you've been able to get it from the pictures, but Encampment is exactly that. It's a forge. Your cadets came in here. They were, some of them somewhat confident, but I can tell you from moment one, every one of them were unsure of themselves. Our technical flight officer made sure of that. They got a very mean person and BDUs in their face. Not terribly aggressive yelling, but definitely something they weren't used to. And they had a very long ordeal just in process, and then were thrown into their bunks, and we dumped all their stuff out, checked to make sure they had everything, and held them accountable for everything they were missing. It was rough. It was really rough. We got them up early every morning at 5:15, and they did PT. And I'm sure every one of you love PT at 5:15 in the morning, isn't that right?
Yes, sir!
So, in the beginning of the week, we saw a lot of a lot of long faces, a lot of stress faces, a lot of struggle. But I can tell you by Wednesday, for sure, they started turning the corner. And then we saw a whole different perspective. We saw a lot of confidence, a lot of competition, a lot of just willpower, sheer willpower and strength. And it's an honor as a Commandant to be able to sit back and watch that occur and watch these cadets grow, and to know that we all have the honor of helping them through that. So be very proud of your cadets. They've been through a lot, and they've definitely earned this today. That's why we make such a big deal out of it. And we'll probably talk some more about it later at the barbecue, but I'm not going to hold anybody up any longer. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start the graduation. Alpha Flight, prepare your cadets for graduation. Alpha Flight! Oh, really? Let's try that again, Alpha Flight. Alpha Flight!
Black Wolves!
I think it needs some salt flight, Sergeant.
Spicy cadets!
There we go.
Alpha Flight, pay attention.
Thank you. All right. Cadet Coulter, front and center. Cadet Chiquetto. Cadet Intavisi. Bravo Flight, prepare your cadets for graduation. Bravo Flight!
Ready to roll! To the Bravo Mobile! Bravo!
All right, Cadet Brock, front and center. Cadet Chung. Cadet Coup. Congratulations, cadets. Job well done. Well deserved. Everybody, let's give them a round of applause. Okay, so next, we want to take a moment to recognize a couple of our cadets. We have 2 awards we wanted to give away specifically. One is a traditional award for encampment, and then one is an internal award that we've developed for this encampment to honor certain things that a couple of our cadets have done throughout the encampment. So the first award is the Mustang Award. We wanted to give an award away for somebody that distributed the most, how shall I say, resilience. That when they came here, it was kind of difficult, right? But then they had a turning moment. They had a turning moment in the middle of the encampment, and they grew. They grew phenomenally. And ever since then, they have been banging away on all cylinders and just really a force to be reckoned with, and has been very impressive. So the winner of our Mustang Award is Cadet Chung, front and center. So Cadet Jung was actually given a coin by one of our active duty members earlier this week for her efforts, but we wanted to specifically recognize her from the encampment staff for everything that she's done. So the next award is an award that you probably have all been expecting, but we haven't talked about. We haven't talked about it in encampment for a specific reason, because encampment doesn't want to focus on the individual. There are a couple of individual awards, but for the most part, encampment focuses on teamwork. However, there is always that one cadet that stands out above his or her peers just that little bit, and or sometimes a lot of it. And from the beginning, there has been one cadet that has been, while they've had their struggles like everybody else, rock solid, continually throughout the encampment. They've demonstrated a tremendous passion, a tremendous courage and fire, representing the warrior spirit. It's been an undeniable effort that all of the TAC officers and your technical flight officer and even your flight sergeants have noticed in your first sergeant. We all discussed it, and it was pretty much a unanimous vote. While there are others that were close, one person stood out far and away. So the winner of this year's Honor Cadet is Cadet Brock, front and center. And please don't be afraid to applaud if you want. All right, cadets. You know what time it is?
Yes, sir!
What time is it, cadets?
Flight, sir!
That's right. So the most coveted award probably of all of encampment is Honor Flight. Each flight is competed each day to determine who is the best for the day. And at the end of encampment, we give the overall Honor Flight award to that flight which outperformed the other flights. And in this case, we only had 2, so outperformed the other flight. In all areas, we'd look at inspections, We look at PT performance. We look at team sports. We look at, we do knowledge bowls. We test them on the material that's covered in their handbook. Drill. So we do drill downs and things like that. And just other unspecific characteristics that we've seen throughout the day. So in the beginning, Bravo Flight was dominating. And they won 2 days in a row. And Alpha Flight was pretty down. They thought, oh man, we're getting stomped. So they picked it up. And they picked it up pretty seriously. And so they came back and won the next 2 days. And so for the past day, they've been in a dead heat. And I'll be honest with you, it was undecided this morning who was going to win Honor Flight. So they've competed hard today, even in their final moments, to determine who it is. So let me ask you, cadets, who do you think is going to win Honor Flight?
Alpha Flight, sir!
Who's going to win Honor Flight?
Alpha Flight, sir!
All right, cadets. It's tough to say this. I hate to pick a flight because you both have been outstanding. But you had 3 different measurements today, and Alpha Flight came out on top. So, Alpha Flight TAC Sergeant, front and center, or TAC Officer, front and center.
Alpha Flight!
Wild Goose! Black Boots!
Spicy cadet.
Observe. Hold it up. So Alpha Flight has the honor of holding the Honor Flight ribbon for the next year until we have encampment again. All right. Now we want to just take a brief moment to honor our cadre. We actually had a phenomenon here. We had a little bit more cadre than we had cadets, or cadet basics anyway. We usually don't like to do that. Circumstances made that happen. However, as many cadre as we had, it took every single one of us to put on this encampment. It's a tough endeavor. And let me tell you, cadets, I hate to tell you this, cadet basics, I know you worked hard, but as hard as you've worked, your cadet cadre, your senior member cadre have worked their tails off. They were up before you and went to bed after you every night. Many of them up until midnight or even a little later, getting up before 5 a.m. to make sure that they were ready to go. Absolutely bending over backwards and killing themselves to make sure that this program was everything you needed it to be, to make sure that you could be successful. So, we're going to recognize some of our cadre at this time. Cadet Tech Sergeant Swanson, front and center. So our cadre are receiving decorations, medals, for their efforts. Just like on the active duty side, CAP has medals that they can give out for outstanding achievement, and every one of these cadre have worked hard enough. So they'll be receiving achievement medals, and then a couple of them will be receiving something else. Cadet Master Sergeant Pennington, front and center. for a sergeant. Front and center. Bo, front and center. Where is he? Lieutenant Roberts. Hand the phone off to somebody else for a minute. Front and center. Lieutenant Roberts actually took time out of work today to be here. He's been kind of jumping in and out as he can. He's been working all week along with one of our other lieutenants. He still managed to find the time to help support us. Lieutenant Coulter. Front and center. I have to hand that camera off. I'll tell you. Lieutenant Pennington, our public affairs officer. Front and center. And finance. And everything else. She has been the pickup person that has done everything that anybody else didn't do. All right, TAC officers. Senior Member Chiquetto, front and center. These are two of the hardest working TAC officers you will ever find. Let me tell you, they have killed themselves day and night and literally risked their health in some cases. Lieutenant Couch, front and center. All right, sir, the floor is yours.
All right, I just want to say a big thank you to Mom and Dad, parents, siblings for bringing your cadet here last Sunday and giving the opportunity to spend the week with us. Cadets, I know we had conversations throughout the week about what to do in the future, how to do your planning in the future, and you learned a lot of things just from a day-to-day operations as to how to make your bunk, how to put away your stuff, and be disciplined, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so now, encampment's over, all right? However, it's not over. What I'm saying is what you learned over the last few days is not something that you should forget. It's something you need to use, not only in CAE, but when you go home, or when you go to school, or whatever you're doing in life. these little things that you learn are going to benefit you far beyond this last year. All right? So my charge to you is remember what you learned. And the next thing to do with that is share it with other cadets. Share it with other peers. So, you've accomplished a encampment. You're done. What does that mean? What does that mean for next year? Yes.
You come back next year and you help others learn.
Yes, because next year we're going to need this much, as many of you as we can for staff, because we're going to grow our numbers for next year's encampment. So, go forth, relax a bit after today. You're done with encampment. You can go and, I know some of you are going on leave and enjoy your time. And then in a few weeks, come back to the squadron and remember what you learned. All right? Cool?
Yes, sir.
Cool?
Yes, sir.
Do your work on that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, parents.
Sir, we forgot something.
Yes, I think you're right. We forgot one last little thing here.
First sergeant, front and center.
I know.
Front and center. So our first sergeant here has been working really hard, and he was working hard leading up to encampment. Yeah, you know what's coming, don't you? And so he made a very, very special achievement before he came here, but he had to wait on time. So he wasn't allowed to be awarded that achievement just yet. So he's going on leave. He still technically has 5 days that he has to wait. But he'll be on leave in Seoul until then, so by the time he comes back, he'll be 100% legit. So our first sergeant, the chief master sergeant here, has met all of his requirements and has earned his Billy Mitchell Award and is going to be promoted to second lieutenant. So, LT. Congratulations, you're the first officer in our squadron. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony for today. Thank you for standing by. We really appreciate all the love and support you've shown your cadets. Without it, this would not have been possible. They would not have been here, and I can guarantee you they would not have been the right character to have succeeded. So thank you so much. Lieutenant, dismiss the squadron.
Yes, sir. Flight sergeant, dismiss your flight.
Now go hug your mom and dad.
Papa. That's